So today I'm coming to you with a little bit of heavy heart. Yesterday I learned um that one of my good friends passed away, and if you are if you have been at to my live sessions, you might have seen me showing you this book, The Power of Noticing, Will Kuiper. Will Kuiper, and I'm gonna uh, publish an article on Sunday about him, a tribute to him and my connection to him. If you are following me anywhere, you will see that article because when I share something in one place, I share everywhere. So that if you are not there, you can find it the other place on social media. And that's why I am today. Uh, I I wanted to look nicer. I wanted to look more elegant, um, because he was that kind of person. You see, who will he was uh, he was such a beautiful human being inside and out, and a dear friend. And I was involved in the creation of this book, so much so that he he added at the end. Um Bonus chapter about me. You see, it says, Apex Roar I Am. You see? And it's a beautiful book. My husband read it twice. So I would highly recommend you to check it out. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your condolences, your messages, uh, your support. And, as you see, I cried a little bit yesterday, but I'm not crying today because Um, he was so matter of fact about everything he was going through, and he was going through cancer, and that's it. That throughout that process, he wrote this book, and he started writing it, and then he found out about his disease, and then he decided to rewrite the whole book. So he did, and he published it only a few months ago, uh, as if he waited, like hanging there until it was out, and then um, he's gone. So yeah, it's he knew that was the end, unfortunately, but um, he stayed strong until the end, and I am proud of him for that, and I'm proud of being one of the people who has been there with him, uh, the end part of his life. I only met him in 2022, but our connection grew so fast. So, yes, I just wanted to remember him and start this session with that. Thank you, Rita. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. So, today we are going to talk about something profound and something life changing, and that's being judgment free. This is an intentional, conscious practice that can bring more peace, connection, and clarity into your life. But before we go deep into how we can live judgment free, I want to first explore what judgment really means. You see, I like to do that, right? I like to understand the concepts first and then go into the nitty gritty and what can we do about it. And if you didn't join my live session last week, know that I changed the structure of my sessions a little bit. Now we will be meditating at the end of the session, okay? Instead of talking, meditating, and then talking again. Now I'm doing it just the talk part, and then at the end we close with the meditation. I hope it's okay for you. So, what is judgment? In my view, judgment is our attempt to create a hierarchy, better than and less than, right and wrong, superior and inferior. In a way, it's a way we assign worth to ourselves, others, and situations based on our limited perspective. At the best, this much of a perspective, but at the worst, it's like this. And we judge from here, from our own lens. And that lens is obviously so much less than 360. We form opinions without having the full story. We think we are right, but often we are only seeing a fraction of the bigger picture. There is also an innate human urge to be right? To feel that gives us the feeling of superiority. We justify our way of thinking and behaving. And don't get me wrong, I am not um, accusing anyone. I am a human being, and I am one of those people. We are all the same, made the same way. We are conditioned the same way in the society. Iceberg, yes, Craig. So we try to justify our way of thinking and behaving. And this urge can be deeply limiting. And it keeps us in boxes that separate us from our full potential, our peace, and even the people around us. Judging is not just about others. It's about also how we treat ourselves and how we interpret the world. So today we are going to break this down into three types of judgment: judging yourself, judging others, and judging events and circumstances. These are um, three judgment styles that we live day in, day out. Let's start with self judgment because that's where most of us struggle the most. So, I'm not even asking you the question if you have ever caught yourself judging something you said, you did, or thought unfairly, because I know the answer. It's a yes for all of you, everyone. We all do it. We criticize ourselves, nitpick every perceived little flaw, and replay our mistakes in our heads over and over and over. And sometimes these mistakes are 20 years ago, made 20 years ago. So self judgment is like an internal critic that chips away at our confidence, at our well being. It traps us in a loop of comparison and self criticism, making us feel stuck, making us feel not enough. And when we are caught in this loop, we'll It is so hard to embrace our full potential. You cannot get past your self judgments, let alone go further and go for growth. You see? And those self judgments often, most of the time, I would say 95% stems from childhood experiences. So it's not your fault. It's nobody's fault, actually. Maybe someone called you clumsy. Maybe someone called you lazy. Maybe someone made a face. You said something and they said, "Mm," if you say so. Maybe someone said you're not smart enough. Maybe someone was talking about you and you heard them saying that about you. And maybe you don't even remember this, but your consciousness, your mind remembers, your subconscious remembers. Also, on the other hand, maybe you were given a positive label, like being the smart one or the responsible one, which created a pressure, big pressure to live up to those expectations all the time. And when you couldn't meet those impossible standards, you started judging yourself harshly. Does that sound familiar? If it does, you are not alone. Yes, Sunny, totally, right? But the good news is you can break free from self judgment. What can we do when we catch ourselves being overly critical? Later, I'll share a tool that I use for these moments. But for now, let's move on to judging others, which can be just as harmful. Let me tell you a little story that illustrates quite nicely how judgment clouds our perception. It's a nice story. I like that story. And I think I shared it before on Inside Timer at one of my live sessions, but oh well, I will share it again. So, a young couple moved into a new neighborhood. And one morning, while having breakfast, the wife noticed her neighbor hanging laundry outside. And then she looked and said, "That laundry isn't very clean. She must not know how to wash properly. Maybe she needs better soap or something." Her husband said nothing and continued eating his breakfast. And every time the neighbor hung laundry out to dry, the wife made the same comment. Then one morning, she looked out and saw that the laundry was spotless. And she said, "Look, she's finally learned how to wash correctly. I wonder who taught her this." Her husband turned and said, "I got up early this morning and cleaned our windows." And isn't that just how life works? What we see in others often reflects the clarity or lack of clarity within ourselves. When we judge others, we miss out on the chance to truly see them. We are looking at them through a filter, through a dirty window, right? We reduce them to simplistic labels and rob ourselves of the opportunity to connect with their humanity. Have you ever felt judged by someone? Again, a rhetorical question because I know you were. Yes, my husband says yes. Yes, we all have. We all have. Um, so how did you feel? How did it make you feel when you felt judged? What did you feel? How was that experience? Misunderstood, inadequate, sad, contracted, limited. Yes. Less than, not enough, worthless, right? And frustrating. Yes. Unseen. Beautiful. Yes. It didn't inspire growth. It made you feel small, misunderstood, even defensive, right? My husband says all of the above plus annoyed. Yeah. It doesn't inspire growth and it makes you feel defensive. Defensive. The Art of War book, most of you might know, says the first act of war is defense. Defense. Whenever you put the other party in the position to defend themselves, the war has just started. So, they say don't do something that makes you feel bad to others. Like when something is done to you, it doesn't make you feel good. Don't do it to others. So let me tell you a story from my own life. Years ago, I judged someone from my family, and I'm not going to say openly what it was, but you will get the idea. I judged someone from my family who's very close to me really harshly and for a really long time, years. And you know what happened? The exact same thing happened to me. I experienced exact same thing 10 years later. Oops. I was like, as if I was in their shoes all of a sudden. I realized, wow, oh my God, what did I do? How could I judge this harshly that person? Now that I am going through the same thing, I understand. And that day, that at that point, as soon as I realized that, I changed my way of looking at people and I stopped judging anyone, nobody. I don't judge anyone. Why? Because I don't know. Because I'm not in their shoes. I don't know all the nitty gritty of what they are going through. I don't know the backstory. I only see them from this angle, but I don't know what is happening all around this angle. The art of war, yes. So that was so eye opening for me. Like people do things, say things, and me might feel, how can they say that? How can they do that? Or, oh my God, everything was wonderful. How did they take this step? That's not aligned what I'm seeing because you don't know. Because you don't know. Only that person knows what they are experiencing. Therefore, it's their choice. It's their business. What does Byron Katie says? There are three businesses: your business, their business, and God's business. If you catch yourself judging someone and realize that, is this my business or their business? And if the answer is their business, that's done. There's nothing to think about, worry about. Unless this is a child that needs your assistance, your support, it's their business. So now we come to the part of judging situations, judging circumstances, judging events. How often do you find yourself labeling a day, an event, or an experience as good or bad? Rain on a weekend in summer is bad. A delayed flight is terrible. A work challenge is not so good. But here's the thing: judgment creates resistance, and resistance creates suffering. The tighter we hold on to our idea of how things should be, the more pain we create for ourselves. For ourselves. Becky. Becky says, my husband constantly judges the weather. It's hard to listen to. Um, I hear you, Becky. What can you do about that? Let's be like I'm intrigued. Let's brainstorm about it. Somebody's um complaining about weather. What can we do about that? Maybe we can say some positive things about rain. It's raining and they don't like it. You say, "Oh, how beautiful the earth smells when it rains." Or how lovely the droplets of water are running down through the window. I really like to sit and watch. You do that. Sun will shine again tomorrow. Yes. I like rain. I like snow. I like sunshine. I like all of that. Judgment creates resistance, and resistance creates suffering. The tighter we hold on to our idea of how things should be, the more pain we create for ourselves. Imagine a raccoon caught in a trap, holding on to a shiny object. If the raccoon let go, it could easily free itself, but it doesn't. It clings to the object, keeping itself stuck. It's just like that. Our judgments work the same way. The more tightly we hold on to that thing, thought, the more trapped we become. But what if we could let go. Because, anything you say, good or bad, is um, so much depend on your perspective. Rain on a sunny day that you were planning to go to the beach is not good. But it is a fact, right? Rain is happening. It's a fact. For you, because you were planning to go to the beach, is not good. For someone um, who was thinking that my lawn needed watering, oh, I don't have to water it because it's raining. That's great. So it is the same fact. It is a negative for you, it is a positive for them. So what is happening is just the fact, just something. But our perspective, our looking at what is happening. And sometimes we don't even know. We think that something is happening and it's really bad, but we don't know if it's really bad or not. Let's say you are running late for a meeting because there's traffic or something, or you left late. You left home late, and it's your fault, and you left late, and you are running late, and you feel really bad, and the traffic is not good, and you say, "Oh, I'm already late, and the traffic is keeping me." But you don't know. Maybe if you were 3 minutes ahead, there was going to be an accident, and you would not be able to go at all. So we don't know everything. We don't know the backstories of everything. And therefore, sometimes if your plane is delayed, just sit down and relax and enjoy the extra time you have. And know that this is this is for me. This is happening for me, not to me. There is a reason why this is happening. I don't know why, but I know that it is happening for me. So, letting go doesn't mean ignoring reality, it means accepting what is without adding unnecessary suffering. If it's raining and you can't change the weather, does it help to dwell on how bad it is? Does it help? No, it doesn't. It doesn't change anything. When we let go of judgment, we create space for curiosity, compassion, and peace, less suffering. We start seeing life as it is, not as we expect it to be. So, being creative. I plan to do this, to go to the beach, but it's raining. Given the circumstances, what is something else I can do? Thank you, Jen. Thank you. What can I do? Given the circumstances, what can I do? Instead of saying, "Oh my God, it's raining. What am I going to do? My plans are gone. I was going to do this. I wanted to do this so long and I waited for this. And look at what's happening." There's a reason why that's happening. Given the circumstances, what is the alternative? What is my plan B? What can I do? As soon as you start being creative, you passed to the other side. You left that suffering and you said that I'm not going to suffer. for this. I'm not going to let this create this suffering. Instead, I'm going to find another solution. Given the circumstances, what can I do? So it's easy to get caught up in negative judgments, whether it's about yourself, someone else, or a situation that feels really frustrating. We've all been there, but there are ways to help ourselves out of that spiral. So now I want to share with you a few more strategies, maybe tips, tools, practices that maybe can make a little bit of difference. One thing you can do is my phone is ringing. Oh, jeez. Uh, I'm so sorry for this. Um, and I don't even know what is okay. Back. I'm sorry for that. First thing you can do when life gets busy, uh, and we find ourselves saying, I just need a break, I need to slow down. Uh, Most of the times, we find ourselves in a position where we get that opportunity to slow down, and that opportunity shows up, but we often judge it as something bad. Let me give you an example. Imagine um, you wanted to do something, or you wanted to meet with a friend, and it didn't happen. How about seeing that as an opportunity? For example, it happens to me. Let's say someone booked a time with me, and they book, and this happens. They booked, but they didn't show up. In the past, I was so mad. Like, how can someone book a time and don't show up? Blah blah blah. Who's suffering from that? Myself. I'm work up my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, stress. These days, when someone doesn't show up, I say, "Oh, it is an opportunity for me to slow down because I budgeted this time to spend with this person and they didn't show up. There must be a reason. And what a great opportunity for me to slow down, maybe to meditate a little bit. It's an extra time for me, or focus on something that is more meaningful for me." Now I see it as an opportunity, believe it or not, because now I know anything and everything happening in life is happening for me. For me. There's a reason why it's happening. And I thank for that. Rather than getting, oh my God, that person didn't show up. How can they do that? And I'm judging them. And no, everything is happening for a reason. This is cliche, but it's so true. And that's a really good opportunity to slow down. When something you planned doesn't happen, see that as an opportunity to slow down. Sometimes what we need most is exactly what life is giving us, even if it's not what we thought we wanted. Maybe that event that didn't happen, that meeting that didn't happen, is an invitation to rest. Maybe your body needed a break. Maybe it's a reminder to slow down, cozy up with a book, meditate, and nourish yourself in a different way. So the next time you feel frustrated because things aren't going according to your plan, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what if this is exactly what I need right now? How do we handle when things happen that cause great pain? Surrender. Jen, it's a good question. That's what I do. Yes, surrender. Surrender. Because that also has a reason for happening. It is sometimes a growth that we need to go through as a soul. You see, what I believe is we come to this realm in a physical body, and every lifetime is a time frame where we learn things, get to the next level, and to the next, and to the next. And every pain we are going through is a lesson. So I see that, okay, this is happening because I believe that I am here in this realm, in this body, with these life experiences, because there's something I need to learn from this. I need to grow through this so that I can get as a soul one step ahead. Yes, step by step, just like Hilda said. Um, Surrendering, it doesn't mean you just sit and don't do anything. You just don't let things um, pushing you further down, but being curious. Why is this happening? What do I have to learn from this? How can I grow through this experience rather than, oh my God, what is happening? Like I am screwed. And instead of going down, 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 looking at everything with curiosity, like someone, difficult person, shows up in your world, a difficult person. Especially in workplaces, we see that. You go work in a company, in a place, and you see someone who's really touching your nerves. That person is really hard to work with. And people leave jobs because of that one person. Everything is okay, but there's this one person who's not possible to work with. And they switch jobs just to find in the other place there is someone even worse. Why? Because that person was your trainer. That person was there on your path for a reason. And because you chose not to look at it with curiosity and try to understand, why is this person? What is the purpose of this person being on my path? And what can I learn from this? How, like, the universe, the God, whatever you believe in, is throwing you your way hurdles. And this is a test. Everything is a test. You are being tested. Let's see how IPEC will handle this. Will they persevere, find ways, or will they throw the towel and move on? If they do, unfortunately, they're gonna be stuck with the same problem because they didn't learn to fix it. You see? Um, so that's not that person. is the problem. That's the thing that you need to learn from that experience and make it better. And when you do make it better, then there is no problem anymore with your job. So you can stay there and you can keep learning there. It doesn't mean there won't be another difficult person showing up on your path, but it means that there's something else you need to learn. I was so um, like that in my previous life. I was like, my husband knows. I would come home and complain about this person and that person and that person. Now I look back and I think, wow, I was so judgmental about people and didn't try to learn anything, didn't try to understand, be curious. Okay, why is this person acting this way? And what can I do about it? How can I change my perspective? How can I act differently? How can I get to understand them so that I can understand the reason for their behavior? One time, I remember being judgmental about someone and finding out that that person was going through really, 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 really tough time in their personal life. And I was thinking, oh my God, I was judging this person for acting like this, not knowing what they were dealing with at home. Because people who are difficult are reflecting something that is not going in good, well in their lives. There's something that they are hurting about, so that they want to hurt others, so that they can, such in a way, in somehow, let it out. So there must be something happening that make them act that way, and you are the easiest person for them to let it out in a way, apparently, because you are the closest in their vicinity or something. So the hurt people, it is true. So how about getting more curious and maybe creating a connection with that person so that maybe they feel the connection, the closeness with you to share what they are going through. Another thing, you probably heard the phrase look for the silver lining, right? It is another cliche, but it is rooted in truth. When we train ourselves to focus on what is working rather than what is not, what is good rather than what is like the half of the glass full instead of half of the glass empty. What's good, even in a tough situation, it can completely change our experience. Um, you know, in life, as human beings, we are mostly trained and conditioned to look at everything from a perspective and most of the times focus on what is not going well rather than what is going good. For example, a leader, let's say a leader, not political. I don't want to get in politics. It's no, not right now, especially, but a leader anywhere, somewhere, a family leader or someone, leader. They make mistakes and they make decisions that you don't agree with. But something comes up and they really manage that problem, that situation really well. But in general, you don't agree with that person. In general, their ideas, their way of implementing them, in general, you don't. But they manage this one situation really well. Our tendency in general is still focusing on what they didn't do well and discarding what they did good. But how about focusing on what they did well and maybe like supporting that at least, rather than putting all that good in a bucket where all the bad sits. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but maybe another example might be better. Um, as parents, let's say, as parents, we raise our children and we make mistakes, right? We are because we are human beings, we will make mistakes unintentionally because we love our children. We want everything good for them, right? But we still make mistakes. But what is a mistake? A mistake is something in time we look back and see that this was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Because at the time of creating that mistake, you don't know it's a mistake. You think that it is the right thing to do. It is the best thing to do or best decision to make at that moment. A mistake becomes a mistake only in future when you turn back and see it. It was a mistake. But we do, as parents, so many good things for our children too. Like we make thousands of good things, or we make thousands of good decisions for our children, and we make some bad decisions about our children. But we beat ourselves for a few bad decisions we made instead of looking at all the good we did for them. So, how about focusing on the good rather than the bad and building on that, growing. In positive intelligence, we learned um, that in every conflict, in every single conflict, both parties are at least 10% right. There is no 0% and 100%. There's always at least 10% right. So focus on that 10%. Whenever you are in a conflict with anyone, try to see what they are right about and build on that. Don't use yes, but use yes and. What I like about this idea or what I like about what you're saying is this, rather than what I don't like about what you're saying. And I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. I don't like what you're saying, even if you like 10%. Instead of doing that, focus on that 10%. I hear you. I understand you. And what I like about what you're saying is this. And I am adding what I think. So, the next time you are stuck in a situation that feels disappointing or frustrating, ask yourself, what is one positive thing I can take from this? It's not about pretending everything is perfect or everything is wrong. It's about expanding your perspective to include a good that's also present. And be curious like a child. Childlike curiosity is the best way to let judgment go. Childlike curiosity. Be curious rather than judgmental. When we're caught up in judgment, it's like we are holding on tightly to something that is hurting us. Remember the story of the raccoon trap? Hunters would place a shiny object inside a log and drive nails at an angle so the raccoon could put its paw in, but not pull it out while holding the object. The raccoon could easily escape by letting go, but it doesn't. It clings to that shiny object and they get stuck. That's exactly what we do with our judgments. The tighter we hold on to them, the more stuck we become. But the moment we let go, what do we get? Freedom. These small shifts, slowing down, looking for the positive, and getting curious, are ways to let go. And they help us step out of judgment and into a more peaceful and expansive state. Hilda says, when I make a bad decision with my child, I almost every time apologize and explain. It helps both of us and our relationship, I believe. Yes, negative turning into positive. Thank you for sharing. And thank you, Carol. Carol says, you're explaining well. Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. So, judgment is natural, it's part of how our brains work, but it's also something we can observe, challenge, and ultimately transform. So the next time you find yourself caught in judgment, ask yourself, what if this is exactly what I need right now? What is one good thing I can find in this situation? And how can I get curious about what I'm experiencing? Because you have the power to shift your experience, not by changing the external situation, but by changing how you look at it, how you relate to it. So let's meditate now, shall we? And the quote for our meditation today is again from me. Oh, Kathleen, don't get. No, I can't get to that. It is too touchy feely topic right now. But the quote is that I came up with about this topic is, in every breath lies a choice to judge or to love. Choose love. By the way, this reminds me of the challenge that I'm doing, 7 day, a commitment to love challenge. We are on day 6. Today is day 6, and this was created and by Jonergy Healing, uh, my fellow teacher on Insight Timer, and actually Violet, who's also a Insight Timer teacher, and many other teachers are joining this campaign because we need more love. So choose love, not judgment. And let's meditate. This meditation is called Releasing Judgment and Embracing Curiosity. Just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let yourself settle into this moment. Be comfortable sitting up or lying down, and allow your body to soften, to relax. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze. And take another deep breath and let it flow out naturally. With each breath, allow yourself to arrive fully in the present moment. Now we'll begin with a gentle body scan to bring awareness to each part of your body and release any tension. Start by bringing your attention to the top of your head and notice any sensations there. Perhaps warmth, coolness, or tingling. Now allow your forehead to relax, releasing any tension you might be holding. Bring your awareness to your eyes and the muscles around them. Let them soften and move down to your jaw. If you notice any tightness, allow it to melt away. And relax your jaw and your tongue. Now shift your focus to your neck and shoulders and notice any heaviness or tightness. And give yourself permission to release it. Let your shoulders drop as far away from your ears as possible. Feeling a sense of ease spreading through your body. Now bring your attention to your arms, your hands, and fingers. And notice any sensations here. And allow them to feel light and relaxed. This time, gently focus on your chest. Feel the natural rise and fall with each breath. Imagine the breath gently soothing and expanding your heart space. Move your attention to your back now and notice any tension in the upper or lower back. And allow each breath to soften these areas, letting the tension dissolve. Shift your focus to your belly, your hips, and your pelvis. And feel the support beneath you. Allow your abdomen to soften, releasing any tightness. Now bring awareness to your legs, all the way down to your knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Feel the weight of your legs and imagine them sinking into the earth with each exhale, grounding you and bringing you a sense of stability. And now take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel your entire body resting in a state of ease and presence. And now that your body is relaxed and your mind is calmer, bring to mind a moment when you noticed judgment arising, perhaps toward yourself, someone else, or a situation. and notice how that judgment feels in your body. Where do you feel it? Is there a tightness or heaviness? And now imagine that judgment as a small stone resting in your hand. Feel its weight and texture. It might feel heavy or rough. Just observe it with curiosity without trying to change anything. And at the same time, imagine a soft golden light surrounding you, a light full of compassion, kindness, and with each breath you take, this light begins to warm and soften the stone in your hand, making it lighter and lighter. When you're ready, imagine gently placing the stone on the ground beside you and feel the relief in your body as you let it go from your hand. Notice the breath becoming deeper, your body becoming lighter, and allow yourself to rest in this space of freedom and openness. Now bring your attention to your heart center and visualize a soft, radiant light glowing at the center of your chest. That's love and compassion. That's your natural state of being. And this time, with each breath, this light grows stronger, expanding and filling your entire body. It flows gently through you, washing away any lingering tension or judgment. And repeat after me. I release the need to judge myself. I release the need to judge others. I embrace each moment with curiosity and compassion. Gently bring your focus back to your breath. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes and roll your shoulders. And when ready, open your eyes, bringing this sense of lightness and compassion back with you into your present moment. From my heart to yours, with all my love and gratitude. Namaste. Thank you. I see so many fellow Inside Timer teachers with me. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Catherine. I see you. Violet and Carol. Thank you. Judgment limits us, and curiosity and compassion sets us free. And as you move through your day, I'd like to invite you to reflect on this. What would your life look like if you let go of judgment and embraced a mindset of openness and acceptance? Thank you for being with me today. Martez, thank you for your donation. I so appreciate it. There are a couple things that I am celebrating. One is I have 5 courses on Inside Timer, and the other day I added the number of students, and it's over 10,000 now. So that was an amazing number to see, and I am celebrating that. Thanks to you, all of you, of course. Another thing I'm celebrating is, um, and I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Uh, when I look at my dashboard as a teacher, I can see how many plays of my meditations per 7 days, per 30 days since the beginning. And I was looking at per 30 days, the last 30 days, and it was always very close to 10,000, very close to 10,000. But wasn't there yet, wasn't there. And I was always visualizing it getting to 10,000. And it did. And it did. And it was, I think, last week or the week before it happened. And since then, thanks to you again, all of you, it is now around 10.3, 10,300, 10,400, 10,500. So these are amazing numbers. Um, I'm not, um, I don't think it is even important actually. If even one person is getting something from this, If even one person is being inspired or learning something or implementing into their lives or sharing with their loved ones, something that I share here, it is something to celebrate for me. Ali, thank you for your donation. Thank you so much. Um, so these are numbers, but also it warms my heart seeing many people taking action, taking action. Your meditation is an action. Your work on yourself is an action. You taking courses is an action. You showing up at these live sessions is an action. You are acting for the collective, for yourself, but also for the collective. And you are being an example for so many around you. People are watching you, seeing you, and what you choose to do, where you choose to be, matters. And when we meditate together, we are raising the collective consciousness. So please pat yourself on the back for being here. Thank you, Nancy, for your donation. I so appreciate it. You matter and you are making a difference. You are making a difference in my life and you are making a huge difference for everyone around you, even if you don't realize. So I appreciate you all. Remember and never forget, you are loved. You are safe. You're never alone. And I love each and every one of you with all my heart. All my heart. Thank you. And I'll see you next week. Next Friday, our topic is we're going to celebrate the Hygge, World Hygge Day, Danish celebration of coziness, warmth, comfort. I hope you can join me again at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday, February 28th. So I hope you can be with me again. Have a lovely day. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you then. Also, in 10 minutes, we are meditating. We are doing a group meditation on the Circle of Bliss group on Insight Timer. It's part of our 7-day, what was the challenge? A commitment to love challenge, a part of it. So come and join us. We will meditate at 11 o'clock Eastern Time in 10 minutes. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.